What's up YouTube, my name is Felix, or if you want to refer me to my WoW name, it's Xuen. I'm here to bring you guys today some footage from a game called AION. Now, this is a game from the same people that made you Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, so it's a really good game. This game actually was released a few years ago when I was on the beta, and I like this game a lot more than Warcraft because I feel like you can grasp the story a lot better. And this was actually pay to play. It cost the same amount as Warcraft, so what I would do if I ever got bored with Warcraft, I would switch over to this game and I would start playing this game. But recently this game actually went free to play, so I urge you guys to check this out. It's an awesome game. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys some gameplay footage, so hopefully you guys will want to pick this up and try it out. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next episode. I hope to come out with a lot more AION footage in the future, because I'm going to be leveling this guy up to 60 in max level, and showing you guys some awesome PvP action. So I look forward to that. I'll see you in soon. Welcome to the character creation screen, guys. I'm going to be going over all the stuff that it takes to create a character and the different classes and stuff, so I hope you guys enjoy this. When you first come to the character creation screen, you're going to have a choice of four servers to begin with. Obviously you're not going to have a level 47 assassin or something unless you buy an account, but what you're going to do is you're going to want to choose create character. You're going to be brought up to a screen which is going to let you choose between the two main factions that you can choose from, which is Asmodeans and Helios. Asmodeans are put in the harsher environment. The world of Atreia is actually split in half into two completely separate continents. Not continents, but actually parts of the world. It's literally split in half. But you're going to have two factions to choose from. One is Asmodeans, one is Helios. The Asmodeans were actually put on the harsh side of the continent, or the world, and it's more cold weather, and they started to develop like manes and claws and more feral. And I personally like Asmodeans because of that, the glowing red eyes and all that cool stuff. I just think that's amazing. If you want to choose Helios, they're placed in like a more tropical, paradisey sort of region where you can quest. So once you start questing in with these two factions, they're going to be completely different areas, so you're going to be able to absorb the game a lot more. And I urge you to try both of these factions out to see which one you like. And once you choose one faction on a server, you can't choose another one on the same server unless you switch servers, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to hit next. They have four main classes right now. The classes are Warrior, Scout, Mage, and Priest. Obviously, there's going to be M for male and F for female. So basically, what you're going to be doing is that once you hit level 1, you're going to be going through this questing area. You're going to see an intro video, and then basically your character doesn't really know who he is. And you go through this questing area from 1 to 10, and you kind of figure out who you are and what your role is to play in the world. And you kind of get into the game. You just kind of get brought into the environment and into the game and into the lore right away, and it's really fun. Your character figures out that he's blessed by this god of Atreia, and he's basically this immortal deva that can have wings and fly all over the world, so that plays a big role in like PvP and stuff. So they have battlegrounds where you can do constant flying, that battlegrounds where you can only glide, and there's like wind tunnels that you can just kind of fly around the arena and just kind of see who you want to drop on and stuff. It's really, really, really cool. So the main classes, the Warrior, Scout, Mage, and Priest, all have two different main specs that they can branch off into once they hit level 10. Warriors are Gladiators and Templars. Gladiators are mainly the two-handed, like you see this guy right here. He just has his two-handed polearm or mace. You basically swing this around a lot, and you can tank as this class, although it's not really the best tanking spec. You would want to be a Gladiator, so if you're a tanking person, you'd want to choose Gladiator. Scouts, they can branch off into Assassins and Rangers. Rangers do not have pets. They're just like the basic bow and arrow type of thing. They can like summon up the spirit where they fire like arrows and kind of like a volley of arrows down. It's pretty cool. Mages can split off into two different classes called Sorcerers or Spirit Masters. Sorcerers are like really powerful mages. Spirit Masters are people like Warlocks, except they do not summon demons, they summon elementals. Priests are more in the support class and healing. Chanters are the support DPS. They heal and DPS. Chanters are the pre-spec for healing mainly. Other than that, I'm going to choose a Scout. Actually, I'm just going to choose a warrior. Moving on. Now, the character customization screen is actually mind-boggling. You can do so much with it. So you have your general pre-made faces and stuff like that, and you can choose your body type. And if you want to go into the advanced features, you can do that. You're obviously your name. You can choose up to 50 different hairstyles. And actually, like hairstyles like this, it would actually move around like with your character. Like if I'm moving it right here, or like if there's wind, the hair would move. Epic afro. Yep. But they have like so many different hairstyles, guys. So just check it out. You got your pre-made faces. You can do like tattoos, scarring, all this cool stuff. Eye color, hair color, advanced features. Like if you want to make your character like look really weird, I've seen people that have done this before. And let me show you really quick. So I mean, you can like go all out and stuff. Like you can make your character really small with like giant feet and a big head. Like I've seen people do crazy stuff like this. So I mean, like you can go in depth with this stuff. You can take a lot of time on it. I took a lot of time creating my character. It's a lot of fun. And also you're gonna have this option of like different voices. Your character is going to be put in different cinematics where he's actually doing like action scenes or like different types of stuff, and it's really cool. And he's actually going to be talking and all that cool stuff, so make sure you just check all this stuff out. Character customization is really nice. But other than that, moving on to the next parts of the videos, it's going to be just going into the questing areas and then the abyss and the combat stuff, and you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned and just keep watching. See you there. Welcome back, guys. I'm going to be moving into the leveling areas and just the general areas of which you're going to be questing in and all that good stuff. So, first thing that I wanted to mention is they have two different zones. They're called free fly zones and non-free fly zones. The developers, what they did is they actually made these zones because they want to make people explore the lore a lot more. If you guys were playing in Vanilla WoW and BC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because flying mounts, in my opinion, kind of ruined the game for Warcraft. I mean, it's still fun. However, they kind of you don't explore the lore anymore. If like you're a world PvP guy, you don't do any more world PvP. It's like, oh, I see a guy coming, I'm just gonna fly away, or oh, I just don't want to do this quest, I'm just gonna fly over to the next area. Stuff like that. So they basically kind of did that just for that reason. So if you're not into world PvP, they have something called a fast track server. It's free, obviously, but you just move to this fast track server. It binds all the servers together, and you level twice as fast, and there's no rifts. Rifts are basically the things that you can go to the different side of the continents. So they have the two different fly zones. The free fly zones, it's basically you can pop your wings and fly anywhere you want. The non-free fly zones, you can still glide. I'm going to show you guys an example of gliding in a second. But you can still glide. If you're going downhill, you can hit the space bar and you can just get there faster. But this is the map. This is the Asmodee continent, and that's the Ilios side. And what rifts would do is they would drag your player over to the other side. The map is huge. There's so much to explore. And there's the Abyss, which I'm going to be showing you guys some footage in there in a minute. But it's amazing in the Abyss. It's so big and it's so much fun. But moving on, they also have these things called soloable dungeons. Now, what these soloable dungeons are, the name is literal. You literally go in there with one person, and that's yourself. So you go in there and you just solo this dungeon, and you have a lot of fun doing that. You do this quest chain, and then when you go back there, there's another quest chain that you can do, continue on from that story, and then you can just keep doing those dailies and stuff and just level really fast. Also, another thing to note is that the flight paths in this game is actually really fast. So, believe it or not, here to over here is a really long distance. And if you can't walk there, they have the flight paths, and if it actually takes too long, they have stuff called teleporters, which teleport you literally probably over to like the different continents and stuff, which would be like from here to here, there, or the cities. So I'm going to glide down, show you guys what the gliding is. Basically, you can go to a free fall right here. Hit the spacebar. Just gliding down. So I'm going to show you guys the flight path really quick. So this is a flight transporter. They have two things called a teleporter. So if you want to teleport, you're basically going to be teleporting to the main places over here, the main different continents. And here's the flight transporter. So I'm going to be going over to that other free fly zone really quick to show you guys. You're moving so fast through these zones, and like if you actually walked over there to explore that area and then you take the flight path, you're like, wow, that was a really long distance. But while you're on these flight paths, you get to explore the world a lot. You get to see it. You get to kind of embrace the world, because the world is so beautiful the way they put this together. Almost there. And see, have your free flying back. And that's the flight pass. Another thing is that they do not have any repairs in the game. Technically, the repairs, if you die, you lose experience. You won't drop a level, but you will lose experience, and basically just talk to a soul healer, and you get your experience back. So it's the same thing as repairs if you think about it. So I will see you in the city, guys. I'm going to show you guys some target dummy stuff, and I'm going to be showing you guys all the awesome stuff that you get it as an assassin, or all the new abilities. So I'll see you there. Alright guys, let's move on. So this is going to be the combat features and all the cool stuff that you get while going into combat and the different chains. So if you look at my skill bars right now, you can see these different abilities that I have, and actually this is not all the abilities I have. So they have stuff called chains. Now something that's really cool about this game is that the chain abilities. So I'm going to be going into the stigma tab. Now stigmas are the same thing as glyphs in WoW, and you basically unlock your different stigmas by doing stigma quests, and that's basically like campaign quests, so you can do like all that stuff and unlock those different slots. Okay, so pulling up the greater stigma. If I go into the chains, something that they do interesting with the chains is that you can switch out your abilities depending on your playstyle. So if you are using like say I have Swift Edge, I'm going to be clicking that, then a different ability is going to be popping up, and then it's going to be Soul Slash. So I'm going to be able to hit that same button, and then it's going to turn into a different ability, Soul Slash. But if I decided I wanted to do Agonizing Slash, and I decided to have that, I would want to click that, and then I would make that into the chain. So I would be able to use Swift Edge, and then that would turn into Agonizing Slash, then Rune Slash. So that's something that's really cool about this game. So you can get in depth with what type of chains you want and what best benefits you for whatever you're doing, whether it be PvP, questing, or raids. And they have a lot of these different skills and chains that you can just mess around with. So just going down the skill list, I'm going to show you about how much skills there's actually in this game. Now, the playstyle that you have to have for this game, especially in PvP, is actually really high, which I really like, because I don't really like games that hold your hand while you're playing through like an MMO. You actually have to carry your own weight and do all of that good stuff. So just going through like all these skill lists, I still got to get all my 48 abilities and my 50 abilities all the way down to 60. It's just a lot. It's a lot to manage, and let me tell you, it's really fun and really cool. But other than that, I'm just going to go into a quick rotation. Now, what assassins do, I'm just going to be talking about assassins. This is just like a general video. I'm not going to be going in depth with everything because there's so much to cover. But what assassins are is they're basically just straightforward classes. They're kind of like rogues. Your combo points are going to be your runes. You basically carve runes into your target, and then you could use like finishers. Like if you want to use Pain Rune, detonates the rune carved into the target, and then it would do damage and possibly stunning them. If you want to do Blood Rune, that would be like a heal. something that's cool is like assassins also revolve around dodge, so I can't really show you everything on target dummy. I would like hit focused evasion, or if I actually dodge, like certain abilities would come up like counterattack. Successful evasion inflicts so many damage to the target, can also stun the target. Or if you want to do something called whirlwind slash, upon a successful evasion inflicts so and so damage on the target and then puts it in a spin state. And when a spin state does, it's going to spin your target and stun them, so then he's facing his back to you, so basically you can roll right into like a backstab or something, which hits for a lot of damage. So I'm going to basically be going into a little rotation right here. Just going to be popping some ambush over here. Get a 3 pain runes right away. Explode. Basically get into those chains. If you see that right there. And basically, I can't really show you that one either, but what it is, it's called Binding Rune. It lifts my target up into the air, and then I can use something called Crashing Wind Strike, which it basically jump up in the air and slam them back down on the ground. All the classes have these abilities once they hit the max level, where they can basically do stuff in PvP that you wouldn't generally think would be possible. Like with assassins, they have this ability where if I stun you, I can grab you by the back, flip you in the air, and slam your head into the ground. Gladiators, what they have, they take their polearm or sword, they impale you with the top of their sword or polearm, they lift you over their head, and they slam you into the ground. I think sorcerers, they have like a crashing meteor strike. Not really sure what the spirit masters get, or the clerks or the chanters. I haven't played them much, but you guys should check that out. I'm pretty sure there's videos on YouTube. But that's basically the skill list. I'm going to move into the Abyss, show you guys the videos in the Abyss so you guys can see what I'm talking about all the mechanics and all the cool stuff in the Abyss when it comes to an Abyss raid, and then I'm just basically going to wrap it up from there. Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome to the Abyss. Now, this is the massive world PvP area I was talking about. It's so much fun to be here, and actually it's a lot bigger than you think. So, I'm only on the bottom level right now. There's still a middle and top level, and it's fucking huge. It's just massive. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys some videos that NCSoft has provided once you hit the Abyss to better explain to you what you do. They have things called fortress raids, and what these fortress raids do is you get PvP medals and PvP points, so you can get Abyss gear. And the Abyss gear looks really cool, and it's basically your PvP gear. And you basically do these raids, getting these fortresses, you take over them, and then you get more resources, and then you can get your PvP gear. So, like, say for example that there was no fortresses controlled by either Ilios or Asmodee. So if there's no fortresses controlled, what they would actually have, they would have the middle faction called the Balar to take over a fortress, because they want players to still do those raids. So you always have something to do no matter where you are. So without further ado, I'm going to just fly over here and show you guys these videos. Hope you guys enjoy. This is pretty much going to wrap up the video because it's like over 20 minutes, I believe, but there's just so much to cover, guys. I'm really excited about this.
Make it quick. The etheric field that surrounds the fortress is vital to its defense because it can render the attackers irrelevant. The field will decimate enemies who try to force their way through it. So unless the attackers have overwhelming numbers and can sustain heavy casualties, they won't attack the fortress from the sky. But it is possible to shut down the etheric field by destroying the generator inside the fortress. Take out the etheric field generator, and the attackers can assault the fortress.
Those would be Balar, by the way. So what this is, these videos are basically going to show you the mechanics that go behind each of these Abyss Fortress raids. There's so much to do.
Not too much sun. The castle gates are strong enough to withstand most attacks. And if the defenders repair the gates with the Gate Guardian Stone, they can withstand a siege forever. The Gate Guardian Stone repairs the gates only when the defenders are using the Gate Restoration Stone. So if the attackers can deactivate the Restoration Stone, the castle gates will collapse instantly. Siege weapons can also obliterate castle gates, so destroying enemy siege weapons is our top priority. Be strong.
Basically, you're going to be having stuff going on inside the fortress and outside if you're defending. So when someone lays siege to your fortress, you're basically defending it from the inside and outside. It's pretty insane.
Fortress. A Guardian General appears in an underground chamber. The General reeks of power, but you must defeat that General before you can claim the fortress. After your Legion's victory, you've captured the fortress, and Pandemonium will send a detachment of troops to help you defend it. And if our position in the Abyss is weak, they'll send reinforcements. For the Shadem Lords.
Sorry if you guys hear my chair squeaking. Still need to fix this thing.
Another dark day. An artifact is a mysterious relic from the Tower of Eternity. No two are alike, but they're all immensely powerful. We don't understand the full extent of what an artifact does. But we can tap a fraction of its power if we have the proper activation stone. Each artifact is a devastating weapon in the right hands. Some can slaughter every enemy within sight, and others can bring troops back from the brink of death. Artifacts can turn defeat to victory, or vice versa. So capturing artifacts is imperative. A powerful protector stands watch over every artifact. Subdue the protector, and the artifact is yours.
Another mechanic for laying siege to a fortress.
Greetings, friend. Would you believe me if I said that you could carry an obelisk onto the battlefield so you cannot die in battle? Well, it is true. There are portable obelisks known as kisks. You can use a kisk to set up a resurrection bind point on the battlefield. Your bind point will be wherever you place the kisk. But you must remember, a kisk doesn't last forever, and depending on the size of the kisk, only so many devas can bind their souls to it. Despite those limits, a kisk is essential when you lay siege to a fortress. If your kisk is destroyed, your devas will resurrect with the permanent obelisk to which they last bound their souls. Those devas can't swiftly return to the battlefield, so your siege might falter. Therefore, you must do whatever you can to keep the kisk safe from harm.
Now, for example, the kisks, that puts a major mechanic in a siege fortress. Like, here to here is actually a really long way. And if you had a kisk, which would only be in the, if you actually were bound to an obelisk, which would only be in, like, general areas like a major city, like these two cities, and you were laying siege to a fortress, you would take a really long time trying to come back for, like, a reinforcement or something. So that's also really nasty. So destroying those is actually a really huge priority, or protecting them.
The Ilios are an irritant, but the true threat in the Abyss are the Balar. And their battleships, known as Dredgians, are our most feared adversary. Dredgians come and go as they please throughout the Abyss. Origin unknown, destination unknown. And always they appear when and where we least expect. When a Dredgian flies overhead, it drops a horde of Drakons, then incinerates the ground below with bombardments from its onboard weapons. Our best military minds have tried to find a weak spot, but nothing yet. Until we know more, the best tactic when you see a Dredgian is to take cover and hold fast.
Dredgians are nasty, by the way. You don't want to run into those. They could just appear anywhere. If you're like questing the abyss, anywhere. But that's been just this AION introduction video. I plan on finishing this guy and leveling him to 60. Hope you guys enjoy this footage, and I urge you guys to try this game out. It's really fun. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.